The rain had started early that morning, the kind of relentless downpour that New Yorkers both curse and brace themselves for. By noon, the city was already choking under the storm. The streets gleamed with water rushing into gutters, pooling at intersections, and spilling over sidewalks. Umbrellas flipped inside out under the weight of the wind. Horns blared as cars crawled through rivers that used to be avenues. But beneath the chaos above ground, another storm was brewing. Inside the 34th Street subway station, water had begun trickling down the staircases. The elevators, already notorious for frequent breakdowns, had stopped working hours ago. Commuters packed the platforms, many drenched from their walk, muttering into phones or shaking their heads in frustration. And that's when he appeared. A man in a wheelchair, mid-40s perhaps, with dark hair plastered to his forehead from the rain, rolled toward the top of the flooded subway stairs. His name, though few knew it in that moment, was Michael Rivera. He worked in Midtown, lived in Queens, and relied on the subway elevators every single day. But now, staring at the flight of stairs that might as well have been a wall, Michael froze. The crowd around him moved like a restless tide, people darting past, clutching bags, shoes splashing in puddles. Most saw him. Most looked away, not out of cruelty, but out of the hurried instinct that city life drills into its people. Keep moving, keep surviving. But then one voice cut through the noise. "Hey, buddy, need a hand?" Michael looked up. A tall man in a soaked business suit, tie loosened, stood a few feet away. Behind him, a young woman in scrubs, clearly just off her hospital shift, paused as well. Michael forced a half smile. "Elevator's dead. I don't know what to do." The man in the suit crouched down slightly, meeting Michael's eyes. "We'll get you down. Don't worry." Within seconds, strangers gathered. A delivery worker still carrying a large insulated food bag, a college student with headphones draped around his neck, the woman in scrubs, and the suited man. None of them knew each other. None had planned for this, but in that chaotic, rain-soaked moment, they became a team. "Okay," the woman in scrubs said firmly, her voice calm in the storm. "We'll need at least 4 people to lift the chair safely." 2 in the front, 2 in the back, Michael's heart pounded. He hated being the center of attention, hated feeling like a burden. "Are you sure?" he asked quietly, his voice nearly drowned by the rain hammering the subway entrance. The delivery worker grinned. "Brother, we got you. No way we're leaving you stuck up here." They moved quickly, with the silent coordination of people who'd never practiced but somehow knew exactly what to do. The suited man and the delivery worker took the front. The nurse and the student took the back. "On 3, the nurse instructed. 1, 2, 3! The chair lifted off the ground, Michael gripping the armrest so tightly his knuckles whitened. His stomach lurched, half fear, half gratitude, as his body tilted slightly forward. Step by step, the group carried him down, their shoes splashing in the water pooling on each stair. Around them, commuters stopped. Some pulled out phones, recording the sight. Others set their bags down and clapped. For a moment, the usual indifference of the city dissolved into something purer, humanity in motion. When they reached the bottom, the scene grew more surreal. The platform was slick with water. Streams poured from the ceiling like tiny waterfalls. Transit workers shouted instructions, redirecting people away from certain areas. It smelled of wet concrete, electricity, and the faint metallic tang of the storm outside. The 4 rescuers gently set Michael down. He exhaled a shaky laugh, his chest tight with relief. "Thank you," he whispered, looking at each of them in turn. "I don't even know your names." The suited man extended a hand. "Name's David, banker. Didn't think I'd be hauling wheelchairs today." The nurse smiled. "I'm Lena, and honestly, this is the best thing I've done all week." The delivery worker tipped his cap. "Call me Jorge. Just glad I could help." The student shrugged. "I'm Sam. Was just trying to get home, but hey, this was way better than just listening to music." Michael felt his throat tighten. Strangers. Absolute strangers. And yet they had carried him, literally, through what felt like an impossible barrier. Up above, one of the bystanders uploaded a short video of the rescue. Within hours, it spread across social media. The caption read simply, "When elevators fail, humanity doesn't. NYC. Today." The clip showed the four strangers lifting Michael carefully down the stairs. Water rushing around their feet, determination etched on their faces. It was shaky, grainy, and less than a minute long, but it resonated. By evening, millions had watched it. Comments flooded in. "This is the New York I love." Strangers becoming family in a heartbeat. Respect to everyone who stepped up. Heroes don't always wear uniforms. The world needs more of this. News outlets picked it up. Interviews followed. People wanted to know about the man in the wheelchair, about the strangers who carried him, about the ordinary kindness that had broken through a city's hardened shell. Later, when Michael sat safely at home, wrapped in a dry blanket, he thought about the moment at the top of those stairs. He had been seconds away from despair, convinced he was trapped. He had thought of calling someone, waiting hours, maybe even trying to push himself awkwardly down the steps at the risk of injury. Instead, he had been carried, physically and emotionally, by people who owed him nothing. "Funny," he said to a reporter days later. "We always hear that New York is cold, that people don't care. But that day, I felt like the city wrapped its arms around me." For David, the banker, it was a reminder that life was more than numbers and deals. "I was soaked, my shoes were ruined, but honestly, that was the best commute of my life," he laughed. For Lena, the nurse, it echoed her daily work. We're all just people. Sometimes we just need to stop long enough to notice who needs help. Jorge, the delivery worker, saw it differently. "I know what it's like to feel invisible, you know. People don't look at you, don't care." But helping him? It made me feel seen too. And Sam, the student, admitted it changed him. "I complain a lot about this city, tuition, rent, noise. But that day, I was proud. Proud to be part of something good." The storm eventually passed. The water receded. Elevators were repaired. Life in New York marched on, as it always does. But the story lived on. It was told at dinner tables, shared in classrooms, replayed on phones during coffee breaks. Because in a world often dominated by bad news, this moment was a beacon, proof that kindness still existed, that strangers could choose compassion over convenience. Michael still takes the subway every day. Sometimes the elevator works, sometimes it doesn't. But whenever he rolls toward a staircase now, he remembers that rainy afternoon. And though strangers may pass by, he carries with him the unshakable memory that when he needed it most, humanity carried him too.